Hello. Okay, so today we're going to do a full body workout using just your body weight. You literally need nothing apart from yourself and probably some water for in the breaks. We're going to warm up the body and then we're going to be working the lower body combined with the upper body for 2 sets, then the lower body combined with the core for 2 sets, and then we're finishing with a big full heart rate finisher before we stretch at the end. So without further ado, let's warm up. Move your feet in any old way, any way. We're going to warm up the wrists. So we'll be loading weight onto the wrists. So that could be doing circles as big as you can manage, maybe figure of eights with the wrists, maybe just dynamically kind of pulling the hand back, pulling the hand back, pulling the hand back, pulling the hand back on either side. And I'm not moving my feet like this because I'm just feeling fidgety, but instead just a little bit of foot movement to just try and just gradually get yourself a little bit pumped up, get the heart moving around a little bit around the body. And then warm up the shoulders. So give a few circles round, forward and back. Trying to make as big a movement as you can. Maybe get a few little creaks in there as well. And that could be just moving like this. Or you can bring your hands on the shoulders to kind of act like you're drawing circles with your elbows. It's important to go in both directions. But if you were going to only ever pick one, pick backwards instead. We tend to spend a lot of time forwards like this. So the backwards kind of encourages the opening. And then we open close chest, swing the arms forward and back. So this is one of my favorite moves to do every day. Every day. Obviously when I do PT, I always have this in the warm up. And it just feels great. Little stretch on the chest and on the back. And again, because we do tend to be quite tight in this position quite often on computers or on phones, or even like watching telly, it's just good to kind of reopen up again. Bum, bum, bum. Come on and do the conga. Bum, bum, bum. Squats, body weight squats, so feet a little bit wide in the hips back and down. You don't need to go super slow, you don't need to go super fast, but just to get the blood flowing into the lower body. So they don't need to be really deep squats, just kind of pumping them out a little bit. And then maybe gradually getting a little bit lower and lower. But this move starts from your hips, the hips push back, and then the knees bend, rather than just bending the knees like this. Take your feet really wide for side lunges. So feet are wide, you bend one knee, push your hips back, and then go over and switch to the other leg. And then switch, and then switch, and keeping alternating sides. You're going to feel, as you move over and bend one leg, you feel the warmth coming to the quad, maybe a bit into the side of the ass, but you also feel a stretch in the inner thigh and the hip. If it's too much stretch, feet closer together. If you want more, feet wider apart. That's perfect. Knees down push-ups. So even if you are capable of doing push-ups on the toes, go down to your knees for the warm-up. So it's about taking about 50% of your body weight. So we're just warming up gently. Now, a bit like the squats, just kind of pump them up in the top half of the range. Down and up and down and up. Don't worry about going super low. You can always scoop your knees in closer if you need less. But just work on, again, now pumping the blood into the upper body. Just, hopefully the blood's going to flow the whole way through. Starting to warm up. Jump up on your feet, alternating reverse lunges with a twist. You're going to lunge back and then twist in towards your front leg. Lunge, twist into the front leg. Step back. The twist and rotation comes from the upper body. Your hips, knees, and ankles should remain pretty stable. And hip width apart. If they're one behind the other, you're going to be fairly wobbly here. Star jumps. Jump your feet out together. Arms as straight as you can to try and work into the full shoulder joint. You'll feel the difference if you have bent arms versus straight. Even if it means your arms don't go as high, go straight arms. If you need to reduce the impact for neighbors or injuries, then step out together instead. And then we're going to do that entire round warm up again from the top. Just moving the feet a little bit more, so warming up the wrists. Again, do what you need. Sometimes I find when I'm just walking around, I do some of these bad boys. So it starts to warm up the extensors. You can hear the things that extend your hand back. Sometimes when we get wrist pain on weight bearing exercises, it's because we're normally tight here on the front. and a bit weak here. So yeah, just getting a little bit of that movement in might help. Then warm up the shoulders if you can. It's bigger circles. So maybe long arms, a little bit load into the shoulders. You might feel your shoulders get a little bit fatigue here. Fatigue, not failure. If you're anywhere near failure, keep it a little smaller. It is still the warm up after all. And you should feel, how can you feel my heart rate? What are you doing? You should hear my breathing's getting a little bit heavier, and hopefully yours is joining me as well. Open the chest. Now we have got push-ups, so you've got that really nice stretch across the chest and the back, and now try and get a squeeze. So think of squeezing your shoulder blades together here and squeezing your chest at the front here. So really straighten the arms and think of like almost like squeezing your elbows in towards the armpits. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Let's get a contraction, and that will also increase the stretch. Squats. Squats round 2, take it a little bit slower. And start to work gradually towards your full range. Your target is roughly bum to knee level, thighs roughly parallel to the floor. Don't worry about getting lower. That tends to mean the bum tucks underneath and you're rounding your back. So if you stay kind of knee level or a bit higher, that'll be good. I'm going to do quite a bit of single leg work today, and you'll see I've done this side on. All the single leg work should still look quite squatty from the side. Wide feet, side lunges. Bending one knee and then the other. So I've stuck this to the side so you can see again, it's hips back, chest tip forward, and it should pretty much look like a squat. If you can see my back leg, you're like, oh, she's squatting down and up. This is a lateral lunge. You might be able to go with wider feet this time. If it feels okay to, then do. If it doesn't, then don't. Well, that's nice and easy. Knees down, push-ups. Coming down to the floor, a bit like the squats. I'm going to slow it down this time and try and find full depth to the range. So take your time, feel it stretch and pull on your chest. Maybe you have a little pause at the bottom of the push-up and push back up. You want to check here that your hands and elbows aren't in front of your shoulders, but instead they're down below the shoulders. That way it's going to target your chest and keep your shoulders safe. That's coming up. We're going to do this like alternating forward lunge with a twist. So you step forward and a twist. Push up and back. Step forward, twist, push up and back. When you step forward, to your bottom knee that drops towards the floor, and then lock in your belly to push up and back to standing. You're going to find you want to do this and just lead with your shoulders, but instead lead by powering out of the floor. Star jumps, jumping or stepping. So you got the long arms, jump or no jump, and just check now the knees. Check if you are just flipping the feet out and in, and the knees are staying under the hips, and instead push your knees out, whoosh, take your entire leg wider. And not only is this going to raise the heart rate, but it's going to start to activate the side of the legs, side of the bum, maybe a little squeeze in the inner thighs if you're going to squeeze the knees back in again. And butt kicks. Kick heels towards butt. Right, if you need to take away the impact, step it out. You should be feeling the squeeze the back leg, little stretch of the front. High knees. Lift your knees up towards your chest. Same again, you can step it out if needed. Now warming into the hips, so think lift the leg up. Lift, lift, lift. Butt kicks again. Even if you're being slightly down, try and go a little bit higher, so you're trying to kick your own ass. Lift, 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 little higher, 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 high knees again. Trying to lift a little bit higher again, so your target is hip height or higher than hip height. Think you're lifting up rather than pushing off the floor. And now do 10 seconds of butt kicks as high and as fast as you can. Go! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Do the same with your high knees. Go! High and fast as you can. 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Shake off. Have a break of water. I changed my hair. This hair ties a bit loose. And then every time I retie it, it gets a bit tight. I feel like I've got Botox happening. Right, a little bit of movement for the hips, through the feet. We never stand still in between. We want to keep the heart rate just slightly elevated. We're resting, but not all the way down as if we were sitting on the sofa. Right, so in between each exercise, we're going to have a leg exercise. I'll be alternating either between upper body exercises or core exercises, 45 seconds for each. The first round, I'm going to be working the right leg the whole time. So that means we're going to curtsy squats, right leg isn't going to move, and the left leg is going to go behind, and then a little tap to the side, behind, and a little tap to the side. So 45 seconds here. We're working the right leg, so the left leg is moving. Right leg stays on the floor, left leg is moving. I'm going to show it from the side. My hips go back and down. So again, if you look at that posture, it's like a squat still. So it's not staying upright like this and just bending the knee. Just think of how you might bend to royalty if you care for royalty. If not, how you might bow down to me and really push your hips back. Nice, coming to push-ups. So now try on the toes. Give it a go. You've got about 5 seconds to get down there. Spread the fingers. Brace your belly really strong. Shift your weight forward. So the hands in between the chest. And then elbows spread out wide. Push yourself back up. Down and up. I'm going to say it every time because I'm hoping at least one time it will trigger you to give it a go if you're not already trying it. Always try the toes. Literally the worst possible outcome of trying is finding out you're not there yet. But the best outcome is being like, God damn, didn't know I could do that. So try on the toes. If not, drop to your knees. If not, you can have knees in. And a bit like the practice in the warm-up, just keep the weight forwards so the shoulders are out in front of the hands and the elbows. On your feet. So we're working the right leg again. So it's reverse lunge. Right leg is going to stay on the floor and the left leg is going to lunge back and then a little tap in. Left leg again is moving. Right leg is working. Lunge and then tap in. So a bit like in the warm-up, feet stay hip width apart for stability. Now we're training the right leg only. So be mindful that you're moving the left leg but keeping the weight forward on the right leg. Keeping the weight forward. So we don't land on the left, sit back and work the left leg, then into the right, left, and then right, but we're always tipping forward. So it's like you're balancing on your right leg. Balancing on your right leg, left leg's just there. And if you struggle with the movement, just go with the static lunge, down and up. Right, tricep push-up. So unlike the regular push-ups, the hands are wider than chest, elbows move away from the body. This time it's hands under shoulders, elbows move back. So set up your plank again, but this time hands directly under the shoulders. Brace your belly, elbows go in and back towards the ribs. And then push yourself back up again. Elbows are bending and then straightening at the elbow. And if you need less, you pop down to your knees. This one should be harder. So don't feel bad if you do need to be on the knees, especially if it means you're doing it with great technique. Getting the movement from the elbows and then straightening, rather than what I find some people tend to do is either start by shrugging the shoulders with the arms straight and then bending the elbows, or by not bending the elbows at all and just moving the hips down and up. So make sure you're rock solid in plank, just elbows. Nice, up on your feet. Lateral lunge. Again, we're working the right leg. So this time the right leg is going to move, left leg isn't. So we're going to step the right leg out to the side and then push up and back to standing. Right leg to the side, push up and back to standing. And I showed this in the warm-up, how on the lunge, it still looks quite squatty. So the hips are pushing back, driving back up. If you need to make it a little bit easier, you do a bit like we did in the warm-up with the feet wide. Just bend the right knee, straighten again. Bend the right knee, straighten again. For everyone, easier is going to be a more narrow stance. More challenging is wider. So the further you can step away, the more you're going to challenge your lower body. And then we've got shoulder push-ups. There's no way of modifying this on the knees, but I will show you an option if you need to. So fingertips facing slightly towards one another. It's going to let the elbows track evenly out. And then instead of being in plank, walk your feet forward towards your hands. Look through your legs. So tuck your chin, and then elbows push out, and then squeeze in. Elbows push out, and then squeeze in. The top of your head is falling towards the floor, and then moving away, like you're falling forwards a little bit and coming back up. So the way to modify this, if you need less, is to reduce your range, so it's a really small bend, or just simply hold in this position and keep pushing the shoulders away from the ears and just hold. And just like anything else, if you need to take breaks, you take breaks. Your shoulders are going to get stronger and stronger every single time you try this. Yes. Get on up off the floor. You've got a break. And then the good news is we're doing the same side again. Same side again. So we're still going to be working the right leg. It's round 2 of 2 on the right leg. So make this one really count. Like no more chances on the right side. So same thing, right leg stays planted, left leg is going to move behind, and then push back up. Pushing your hips backwards. And now how can you make this more challenging? Get your left knee closer to the floor. So the closer it is to the floor, if you watch this from here, or if I get my knee closer, look how much of a deeper bend I've got in my right leg. So the more you're kind of bending the right leg, so the closer your left knee to the floor, the harder you're going to be working the right leg. So keep working towards that. If you can get your knees touchable, fab. Make sure it doesn't bash the floor, but working slowly getting towards the floor as close as possible before you come back up again. Nice. This time, upper body gets a break. We're coming to the core, so abs, sit-ups, lie down on your back. Put your hands on the opposite shoulders, tuck your chin, and you're going to peel your shoulders off the floor and then give your elbows on top of the knees and roll your way back down again. So you start with a crunch and then goes past the crunch to come a bit higher and then roll down. If you struggle to get past that kind of crunch point and you'll feel what that is, it's a bit that feels really sticky that you want to swing on, then maybe swing your arms on the way up to get the momentum to get up halfway, but try and really control the way down. Or just stick with the crunch. Just stick with the crunch, go up as high as you can manage. The squeezier you get this, the more challenging it will be on your abs. The more momentum, the less challenging it will be. So, gotta get up off the floor, grab your thighs, walk yourself up. So, working the right leg again in the reverse. I'm sorry for the video, by the way, it's got dumbbells. Them. So, right leg stays still, left leg drops towards the floor and then pushes up. Drops towards the floor and pushes up. Again, this is opportunity 2 of 2 on the right leg. How can we get the most on it? Keeping it quite slow, keeping it controlled, so getting rid of the momentum, and seeing how close you can get the knee to the floor. Again, if you watch my range on the lunge here, we got here, and then I drop my knee closer and closer and closer, just watch what happens to my front leg. The closer you get your thigh to level or parallel to the floor, the harder you work the leg. So how close can you get it? Nice, perfect. Alternate V-sits. So we're lying out, stretched on our back. Arms are stretched overhead, your legs are really long on the floor, you're flat. And then it's going to lift up both arms, crunching out, and at the same time lifting one leg, reaching up towards the toes, lowering back down, and then you lift the other leg, and then lower down. Still trying to get that kind of crunching movement here. So you get that crunch, and then go past the crunch to sit up onto the butt. Now, if you need less, use a bit more swing. Your flexibility in the backs of the legs and hamstrings might mean you need to bend your knees. And it might be that you don't come up quite as high. That's fine. You're just gradually working towards getting that lift past that sticky point. On your feet. Grab your thighs, rock yourself up. Working the right leg again, and in this situation, it is the right leg that is moving. So start your feet together, step your right foot out wide to the side, push yourself up and back. Wide to the side, push yourself up and back. the further you go, the harder it is to get back up from. So not just by going wide, but also, remember with the other ones, we're trying to see how close we can get the thighs parallel, bending it as low as possible before you come back up. The lower you bend, the more the challenge. And that applies even if you're not stepping out. So the more you can bend and push your hips back, the harder it will be to push up from it. And your legs are big muscles. They can handle it being a bit hard. They walk you around all day. They can handle this. We're just going to help them handle it better. Nice, perfect. Right, the next exercise is leg raises. The one thing I do not want you to do is have your hands or thumbs tucked under your bum. So, lie down your back, feet over the hips, push your hands hard into the floor next to your hips, but not underneath the hips. So you're going to lower your legs towards the floor until you feel your spine try and arch. And then if you feel it's getting to that point, you've gone too far, you just kind of going to come back up again. So it might be that it's such a tiny movement here, teeny tiny movement down and up. You might be able to get your legs a little bit closer to the floor, but again, if that means your back is lifting away, then that is too far. If your hamstrings are tight, bend your knees, but do try and work your hamstring flexibility in between sessions. I can do a whole thing on that if you want. And if you need less, it's just reducing range. Why? Grab your thighs, rock yourself up. I know we just finished on the floor, but we just come back up to standing. Dum, dum, dum. Standing on your feet. Right ass is done. And legs. So now we're going to do the left. And we're going to go back to the legs and the upper body, then legs, and then abs. Let's see how this side compares. Curtsy squat, working the left leg. So this one, the left leg doesn't move, the right leg does. And it's back and taps in. Go back and tapping in. Really, really, round one is about getting a feel for it, making sure you're moving safely. Round two is about moving better and deeper. So round one, really want you to focus on pushing, driving your hips backwards. So really push your bum back, and then you should feel the load go into your bum. You should feel it kind of stretch your bum here, and it's going to squeeze you, stand back up. Stretching the bum, squeeze, come back up. If you don't push your hips back, you'll probably only feel it in your thigh and possibly in the knee. So hips back. Nice, back into push-ups. What are we going to try? Try on the toes. Great answer, well done. Spread the fingers, right to belly, shift the weight forwards, dropping down and up. One thing to make it easier on the toes, by the way, is feet wider apart. The wider apart your feet are, you're going to feel a bit more stable. If you are finding push-ups on your toes so easy, try closing your feet. So it's coming down and up, knees or toes, making sure your body moves as one unit as a plank, and not that the hips sag and lead the move, or chicken necking and the head's leading the move. So try not to bob the head up and around, or the hips resting down and up, but just lock in for a solid plank, and push. On your feet, reverse lunge, working the left leg, keeping the right, so the right leg's moving, the left leg stays still. So feel your weight balance on your left leg, lunge, tap in, little lunge, and tap in. So again, just getting used to that movement, because there is a little bit of balance and stability required. Checking as you move that the weight stays pretty much at 90% into your left leg, rather than into the right, into the left, into the right, into the left. Your knees are both neutral and not collapsing into the middle. So this isn't strong, but this is push. Just get the feel. Lean into your left leg. Bow, bow, bow. Come on, the left leg. That's perfect. Tricep push-ups. So hands underneath the shoulders, elbows in and back. Maybe even try practicing standing up first. Get the motion, get the feel of the elbows against your body, and then set it up in plank. We try the toes. If you do yoga, you'll probably find, oh yeah, this one's fine. It's the same as chaturanga. Keep your elbows as close to your body as you can. This is round 2 of these. Round 2. You only need to stop when your elbows are in line with your ribs. You don't need to go past that. That takes you into the shoulder joint. And we want to keep it loaded on the triceps, which is the backs of the arms. So keeping it right next to your rib cage. Got another 15 seconds to go. If you've not tried a single push-up on your toes, I dare you, give it a go now. And then just remember, if you can do it now, it's so much easier at the start of the workout. On your feet. So lateral lunge or side lunge into the left leg. So the left leg working, right leg is now staying still. You can set the left leg wide to the side, push your hips back, push up and back to standing. Left leg goes wide, push up and back. Get a feel with how wide you can go. Might not be as wide, that's fine. You might need to get rid of the step, that is fine. Never be disheartened with where you are. I'm going to keep trying to encourage you to try and get a little bit more, but wherever you are is where you are. And where you are is perfect. And then you're just looking to improve and progress on that. So just see where you can get to, pushing your hips back, propelling yourself back up to standing. Nice. Shoulder push-ups. Again, this is really nasty. So if you see in that little video how it's the fall forwards and up, falling forwards and up, and that's what we're going for. It's a shift forwards. So spread the fingers a lot. Elbows point out a little bit. Walk your feet in so you're in a V shape. Top of the head falls towards the floor and you push back up again. Top of the head falls towards the floor and you push back up again. Now you know the options if you need less is reducing your range or maybe just holding the V shape. If you are smashing this, how to get more from it? You try and get the top of your head closer to the floor. You might even do it to slightly kiss the floor. It's a kiss, it's not a punch. So make sure it's really gentle, you're in control of it. The lower you go, the harder you work the top of the shoulders and your triceps. Yes! Get on up off the floor. Wow. Like you want some more. Yeah. Look at the sweat. By the way, it's 23 degrees outside. And the hammock is calling me and I'm here. Guess where I'm going after this? Yes, to the hammock. One more round. Legs and abs. Working the left side again. Right leg goes behind. Push up and back. Take your time on this one. You've got the rhythm. You know how you're moving. You know how it feels on this side. So take your time and see how close you can get your knee to the floor. If you manage it once, try and be consistent with every rep. Again, the key word is try. If you're not there, that's fine. You just keep trying to go a little bit lower and lower and lower. How close can you get the knee to the floor? Tip forward. Get the thigh parallel. Nice, back into the abs. Sit-ups. Coming down to the floor. Hands sit on top of the opposite shoulders. Tuck your chin. Try and curl your way up. Roll your way down. Control this movement as much as you can. If you need to get past that sticky point, then do. One thing I should have said, if you're struggling with this one, check your feet position. Feet really close to the bum will restrict you from sitting all the way up. You'll only be able to crunch. Feet further away will make it a little bit easier. So if you're struggling, just move your feet further away from you. If you're still struggling, use the momentum, but try and control and focus on the downward face. 15 seconds to go. If you are managing it without what you think is momentum, check your elbows. Check they're staying in front of the shoulders here and you're not swinging them at the bottom. The minimal momentum you can use, the more challenging focus on the abs. Get on up off the floor. Nice. We want some more reverse lunge on the left leg working, right leg moving. So left leg doesn't move and the right leg drops towards the floor and then pushes back up towards the floor or maybe hits the floor. Can you get it there? Again, focusing on balancing on your left leg. So if you find yourself trying to balance on your right leg, either at the back here, or as you step in here, you're just going to find you're really wobbly and you'll lose your balance. So instead, think of just taking all the weight on the left leg, and your right leg is just lightly tapping at the front, lightly tapping back. So we can focus on lefty. How's left compared to right? Noise alternate V-sits. Lie down on your back. Stretch your legs out super long. Stretch your arms out over your head. Tuck in your chin. And you're lifting your shoulders. Now lifting one leg. Lower down and lift the other leg. This one, if you're struggling to sit up past the bit, so it's just your shoulders, check that your feet haven't come so far that you're in an L sit, because that way your hips will be pinched. They won't be able to help pull you up. So drop the leg a little bit more and you should find you can sit up a little bit higher. And if you are nailing this, again, it's trying to minimize the momentum on the way up and control the way down, attempting to get your shoulders to land on the floor at the same time as your heel does. So your legs and arms are just an extension to your core. Get on up. Up we pop, up we pop. Left leg working, and in this case, left leg moving, so lateral lunge. So the left leg's going to move to the side, push up and back to standing to the side. Bend the knee and push your hips back as far as possible. Same thing again, if you need to reduce your range, then do. But you want to maximize your individual range. You're getting to the point where you might need to have to shake off and have breaks. If you're there, perfect. If you're not there, try and make it harder for yourself. Needing breaks is not always a bad thing, because it's a good thing. It means you're getting your body to that point of fatigue and tiredness. And when you get to that point, you then recover from it and you come back stronger. Leg raises. Line your back. Feet over the hips. Push the hands on the floor by the side of your body. Lower your legs towards the floor and lift back up. Lower legs towards the floor and lift back up. Doesn't matter how much, if you're like, I feel this in my back, feel it in my back. You will not train your core more by putting your hands underneath your bum. Instead, just bend your knees and try just pushing one foot away and then the other. And then you should feel your abs, keeping your back safe, but really maximizing the training your abs. You've got 15 seconds to go. If you're feeling good, how long and how low can you get? Now, the harder you drive your arms into the floor, actually pushing down, the more you're going to engage your lats, and then that's more muscles to help you go longer and lower and load your abs even more. Yes. Well done. Good. You've got 1 minute to have a break. And then our final finishing round is 2 rounds of it. It's only 20 seconds. 20 seconds each exercise. So it's a short amount of time, but it's explosive, high intensity energy. And afterwards you get a 20-second break. So you're going to go for 20 seconds and then you get a 20-second recovery. So when you go, we want you to go, 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 go. To the point where you're like, your heart rate should be, you're puffed. You might find you're having to bend over. Your legs should burn like mad. But yeah, just aim for that final heart rate spike. You can see your first exercise in the corner. It is an explosive star jump. It is only 20 seconds. And it is a way to modify if you need less. If you need to do less, you do the same squat and just explode one leg instead of both. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Squat down. Explode into the biggest star you can. Push. Catch the landing in a squat and then come back up again. I want you to picture I am stood there waiting to take a picture. Bam. And it's before cameras have burst mode, so I just had to do it. Bam. So the longer you're up in the air, and it's the biggest star as possible, the more chance I've got. Bam. Explode. Yes, we're not take a break. 20-second break. Next one is tuck jumps. So you're going to just lift both thighs towards your legs, towards your chest. If you need less, either dip and drive one knee, dip and drive the other knee, or just do high knee sprint on the spot. Are you ready? We're 3, in 2, in 1. Go lift and lift and lift and lift. And if you need less, sprint out of the spine or dip, lift, dip, lift. It's about the explosive action away from the floor, exploding and lifting, lifting, lifting. You've only got 3 seconds to go. See how many you can do. 2, 1, relax. Yeah. Next one is a squat jump. So you're going to squat and jump away from the floor, but if you need low impact, you mimic it without the jump. So you're going to squat and then lift your heels, squat and then lift your heels. So you're not jumping, but it's just as explosive. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Squat and jump. Squat and jump. Or squat and lift your heels. Squat, lift your heels. If we were working out side by side and one of us jumping, one isn't, it should look fairly similar. It's just one person's foot doesn't leave the floor. It's the same decent squat down, explosive action up. Decent squat down, explosive action up. Nice, have a little shake off. The final 20 seconds, by far everyone's favourite. We're not doing chest to floor. We're just going to hit squat, hit a plank, come in and come up. If you need to take away the jump, you squat down, you step into plank, you step into squat, and you stand up and lift your heels. So choose what's right for you. Go 3, 2, 1, squat down, hit plank, hit squat, jump or stand up. So there's nothing saying you have to jump. If you want to step out the entire thing, then you can, but you're still getting down up off the floor. You're still going to get your heart rate elevated super, super high. Just make sure from everyone we're seeing a squat, a plank, and a squat again. And if you're jumping up, landing with bent legs. Yes. Shake off. That was round 1 of 2. So you're just going to go again. If you're one of those people that counts your reps as you go, try and match or beat it on the second time round. If you're not, you'll just try and do your best. And when you think you want to stop, try and do one more rep. Are you ready? Going in 4 seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Nice. Squat down, explode. Squat and explode, squat and explode. You can do it as many as you can. I've kind of had this little pause, but maybe not. Maybe just drop, drive, drop, drive, drop, drive. I would rather you need to take breaks in this final section because you get yourself so tired, then you complete it comfortably. And you're just like, oh yeah, fine, I've got this. Have a little shake off, have a little break. There's a reason why I'm not doing this, because if I was doing it, I shouldn't be able to talk to you. I wouldn't be able to talk to you. And I think that's a bit crap. If you're trying to get a workout and you're struggling and I'm just there like, So instead, let's see how many toe jumps you can do in 20 seconds. If you go for that quick dynamic lift, you should be able to get more than 20 in 20 seconds. More than 1 a second. Come on, see if you can get more than 20. Just keep on going. Keep lifting, keep lifting, keep lifting, keep lifting. Land it with super soft knees, whether you're doing one knee at a time or if you're doing both at the same time. You never see tuck jumps again in this workout. You've got 3, 2, 1. Shake off. Squat jumps. Got 2 ways to intensify. Either your range going lower and maybe jumping higher, or trying to go a little bit faster. You've got, last time you see this. This is, you've got 40 seconds left of work to go. 40 seconds left. So you squat down and it's exploding up. So you can either try and as soon as you land, go up again and maybe not jumping as high, or thinking of like going up and just really thinking of hang time in the air. So both of them are going to find fatigue. Heart rate or legs, both are. Either you're going bam and it's faster and more explosive, or it's more reps. Whichever gets you going more. Shake off. Have a break. You're finishing with 20 seconds of burpees, then it's all over. How many can you do? How many can you do? With good technique. Don't compromise on technique. Flat hands. Hit a squat. Hit a really solid, beautiful plank. Before you hit a squat, if you're jumping up, and a squat again. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Can you beat me? On 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 more. Catch your breath, have a sip of water, and then we will stretch. Have a little sip. We'll stretch, don't press pause, don't leave me now. Stretch. Your heart rate, I'm hoping, I only did 20 seconds of burpees, that was it. But I'm like, trying to catch my breath. So you should be really like, maybe bend over a little bit. So keep your feet moving, maybe pace around, walk around. It's going to help bring the heart rate a little bit closer to normal, a little bit faster. And as you move your feet, stretch your shoulders. Take one arm across. You want to feel it up in here, which if you don't feel it straight away, think of like taking the arm further away from the body before you pull it across, and then you should feel a little bit more. And you can hold, what's this? It's not the ankle, your wrist, above or below the elbow, wherever gives you the best stretch. We hold each stretch for 30 seconds. Less than 5 minutes of stretching, it's done. Switch your arms, switch shoulders, and you're breathing. Again, keep moving your feet. And your breathing should be returning a bit closer to normal. In through your nose, and breathe out through your mouth. Mm-hmm. So, how do we feel? How do we feel? Stretch your triceps, reach your one arm up, bend the arm, pull onto the shoulder, or legs, fingers behind if that gives you a bigger stretch. Just make sure your head isn't being yanked forward. If it is, just press the back of the head into the arms. And just hold in. Keep your feet moving a little bit, helping and encouraging your heart rate to come closer to normal. And switch your arms, reach up, bend the arm, pull back until you feel the stretch down the back of the arm, your triceps. Why do we never leave the stretch? Do you know? Never leave the stretch. Never skip the warm up. Because we want to work out for life. We want to try and avoid injuries as much as possible. So we never skip the stretch, never skip the recovery. Roll over, roll over. Nice, well done. Stretch your chest. So your hands on the lower back. Roll back the shoulders. Drop the shoulders down the back and squeeze your elbows in. Or lace the fingers behind, whatever gives you the best chest stretch. And at the same time, just squeeze your butt and arch back a little bit so you get a little stretch of your abs from the sit-ups. Hold in. You may want to hold here, or maybe keep your feet moving just a little bit. Push your heart rate. You'll find the fitter you get, the faster your heart rate will come down. So it's not about how high it gets. Fold forward, stretching the hamstrings. So bend your knees and just fold forwards, resting your upper body against the thighs. So whatever the fitness is, the goal is to get the heart rate up high at the end there. But gradually over time, the fitter you get, the faster it recovers and comes back to normal. And here, just make sure your knees are bending and not just straight with a rounded back, but instead bent knees with a long spine. And then lifting the knees up and away from the butt. No, the butt up and away from the knees. Nice, and then we're coming into a quad stretch. We're going to do both at the same time. So coming down to the floor, either just leaning back, squeeze your butt, push your hips forward, or just lie down on your belly and pull both heels in towards the butt. You're going to squeeze your butt and push your hips down into the floor. Pulling the knees away from the hips this time instead of from the butt. Getting sweat on the floor. Nice. Alright, coming up, we're going to finish with a butt stretch, a glute stretch. So you can lie on your back, you can come to 90-90 stretch. Whatever gives you the best stretch in your bum. So 90-90 is this. You've got 90 degrees at both knees. Or you might want to set your bum, cross one ankle over and stay here. Or the same thing, but lying on your back and grabbing hold of the ankle. But anyway, coming down to the floor, heart rate. Switch your legs. Should be well on the way close to resting again. It should remain a little higher than resting for quite a substantial time after the workout. But it should feel like it's right getting close to normal again. You love your body enough to do the workout, so you've got to love your body enough to stretch after. Slowly let and then I get to hammock. And release. Grab your thighs, rock yourself up. Maybe you want to lie on the floor a little bit longer. You can do that now. You can do whatever you want to do. If not, get up, have a shake off. Give yourselves a big round of applause, a big pat on the back. Right, yes, badass, I did it, big tick. You did amazing, well done. Do let me know if things like your hamstring flexibility struggle. Like I say, I can put on a whole workout just based on the hamstring flexibility and improving on that if you like. Yes. If not, there's my yoga flows and mobility flows that you can try. But well done. Thank you so much for coming and working out with me. Give me feedback. Hopefully see you soon to do it all again. Dun, 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 dun.